I think their market performance in Germany is pretty much in line with the rest of Europe. We have clearly seen a decline in occupier demand in the first quarter compared to last quarter. But it's not an alarming signal, I would say, because when we look at the total occupier demand, we are just coming back to the pre-COVID levels of 2019, which were more or less 3, even 4 times the volume that we have seen after the global financial crisis at the beginning of the cycle. No? So this is for occupier demand, but luckily for logistics, the supply has adapted very, very quickly. It's unlike in office development where you have a cycle of 3, 4, or 5 years, and you cannot stop building an office tower in the middle of the hype. For logistics, the reactivity, it's much, much faster. So when the cap rates expanded mid-2022 as a result of increasing interest rates, and when construction prices rose, development appraisals didn't work anymore. So the supply has been immediately constrained, which is now in line with the decreasing occupier market, but we still have very, very low occupancy, very, very low vacancy rates. So nothing really alarming. The structural change that we see in Germany is pretty much like in the rest of Europe, strong focus on ESG performance, on environmental features of the buildings to avoid decarbonization. 3 or 4 years ago, that was nice to have or a certificate, but it was not really a must-have. Today, assets that do not show a clear decarbonization pathway by clear capex programs and emission reduction targets, they become virtually unsaleable. So that's a big, big change in the market, but not specific to Germany. I think the challenge that many international investors, especially from the Anglo-Saxon environment, especially what they find out is that in Germany, logistics is all over the place. In other European countries, in Spain, for instance, you have the big bulk of the market is around Madrid and Barcelona. In France, you have the axis LPLM, Lille, Paris, Lyon, Marseille, which is about 70% of the market. In the UK, it's around London and the Midlands. Yeah? In Germany, you've got 17, depending on the broker report that you read, 17 to 22 logistics clusters. So in order to cover the market, you need to drive or fly long distances, and you need to you need to be on the road all the time. That is what is misunderstood. You cannot do business somewhere from a central office in Berlin or in Frankfurt for all over the place. That's the first thing that investors discover. And the other one is that in Germany, deals are done in German. So you need native speakers. You don't need a Dutch speaker to do business in the Netherlands. Even our leases, they are all in English. Yeah? But in Germany, it's in German and it's very regional. And this is what is underestimated, especially from people who come from the US, who are used to have a market with the same language that is 4,000 by 6,000 kilometers. It is affecting, but I think the location preferences are a result of 2 major factors that are far more impacting on the cost of supply chain than the real estate rent. Those factors are availability of labor and transport cost. And transport cost is directly a function of energy cost. So there is a slight reduction in big boxes, so central very big warehouses that are covering the whole national market, which provide a lower cost to operate, but which increase the transport cost. Now, when diesel costs €2 instead of €1, and when you know that transport cost is about 4 times more impacting on the total supply chain cost than the real estate rent, then it may be more interesting to have 3 or 4 regional centers than rather one big center in the middle. But this is not only typical to Germany, but it provides also a new opportunities for more regional locations that have not been top logistics markets, if they can provide the labor. And that is then the second factor. I find very interesting. It's an informal discussion with a lot of industry peers, from investors, from developers, from the financing community. And it's not a lecture of a PowerPoint presentation with a given opinion that you can listen to and sometimes respond in the Q&A session, but it's never really as interactive as this forum here.